That was freaking heavy. No way I'm running that in the backyard. When we say backyard friendly, we usually mean quiet, but talking guns, there is usually way more to it than just noise. You gotta think about safety, legality, and how it looks from the outside. Like, most people can't tell an air gun from a real gun, so they hear a shot and might think it's a firearm. But the thing that grabs attention the most is just the fact that a shot happened. The sound itself comes from a bunch of stuff like the gun section, the air blast at the muzzle, and even the pellets hit on target. And what's interesting is, it's often the impact that's the loudest part, especially if you're hitting metal. And that's actually easy to fix. But the actual rifle shot makes a noise that's built into the gun, and that's harder to deal with. I usually do my testing with people about 20 to 30 yards away, so I pay a lot more attention to how loud the gun really is. I even did some decibel tests, and a few Hatsan models seriously impressed me with how quiet they were. And while you drop your favorite backyard rigs in the comments, I'll show you mine that worked great for me with neighbors right around 20 to 30 yards away. And everything I'm showing in the video, like the guns, the ammo, all the extras, is linked down in the video description. So let's dive in. I'm Phil and welcome back to Sports and Gadgets. This is hands down my favorite backyard airgun right now, the updated Hatsan AT Regulated QE 2024 version. This particular one in my hands is in 22 caliber. It's a relatively new pistol carbine setup, way more refined than the original Jet from 2022. That first version was noticeably louder, but now they've added a built-in moderator and gave it the full quiet energy treatment straight out of the box. The barrel's fully shrouded, so the muzzle blast is seriously toned down. The sound of the action itself is also super quiet, just a soft click. Even if you hear it up close, it's not sharp, not annoying. You just shoot and don't worry if someone heard it and is about to call the police. The main upgrade in this new model is built-in pressure regulator that keeps the pressure steady at 125 bar. And that actually helps with overall shot noise in a subtle way. The regulator stabilizes the airflow so you don't get excess air dumping out and making that loud hiss. It uses just the right amount of air, so there is less sound garbage in the shot. I ran a series of sound tests with the mic set up about 5 feet from the rifle, so the readings showed a tight spread, and the peak hit around 85 decibels, with background silence sitting at about 45 decibels. But honestly, I wouldn't rely too much on decibel numbers, because they're not that accurate, and in my opinion, not totally objective. What matters more is how it actually feels when you're shooting with neighbors nearby. In actual use, I've been shooting this thing all winter in freezing temps, and it's held up great. I've shot it with people around and didn't worry at all. On top of that, it's lightweight, easy to carry, and the dual air cylinders give you a solid shot count. Plus, it just feels great in the hand. You can also run it as a pistol, which makes it shorter and way less likely to draw attention. We've got a full review on the channel if you want to dive into the shooting performance, so it's one of my favorite backyard-friendly setups out there. Next on my list is a relatively new release from Hatsan that honestly surprised the hell out of me, especially with how quiet it is. It's the 2nd gen Flash QE, and it's become one of my personal go-to full-size backyard-friendly PCPs. I'm not gonna dig into specs here. We've got a full review with shooting tests up on the channel, so check that out. Now, for a budget PCP, this thing punches way above its weight. You get solid power for small game and pest control, and the price is seriously reasonable, but the real magic is in how it sounds. So, the barrel's fully shrouded with internal baffles that slow the air and chop the noise. And the quiet energy moderator, the same one they use on other rifles, is doing legit work, so the muzzle crack is basically gone. Combine that with the built-in pressure regulator, and you're getting consistent velocities without those weird loud pops some PCPs make when the pressure fluctuates. What's left is just the mechanical noise, the hammer strike, and the soft click of the side lever. And even that is really low and muted. That's what got me right from the first shot. This thing is seriously quiet. I clipped my meter about 5 feet from the muzzle, and it came out to be around 74 decibels. But like I said, don't get too hung up on numbers from sound meters. They don't tell the whole story. In reality, it sounds nothing like you'd expect. I was bracing for a sharp mechanical crack and instead got this really mellow, soft thump. Seriously chill. Here I've got a truck backing up maybe 50 yards away, loud as hell with its beeper going off, so I fire the Flash right next to the mic, and the shot is barely noticeable. Doesn't even sound like a PCP rifle, just a quiet mechanical tap hidden under all that noise. Then imagine this other scene where everything around is dead silent, no traffic, no wind, just nothing. So the flash roar gives you that same low, soft hit from the hammer, and that's it. Even the pellet hitting a wooden target makes way more noise than the shot itself. Hatsan seriously nailed it here, and with everything else this rifle gets right, it's hands down one of my favorites. Alright, next up is the Hatsan AT P2 QE. We ran this little PCP hard a couple of years back when we at Sports & Gadgets released our own limited edition camo finish. And we kept coming back to it for one simple reason: it stays chill in the backyard. It's basically a compact pistol carbine built for small game, past work and tight spaces. The barrel is around 10 inches long, fully wrapped in a fully length quiet energy shroud with an integrated moderator. Inside you've got same baffles that break up and slow down the air before it hits the muzzle, and that's huge for short barrels. Without it you'd get a nasty pop. Real-world sound checks land around 60 decibels, more than quiet enough for a backyard session, as long as you stay off loud impact targets. The mechanical action is pretty quiet too. When the trigger breaks, you get a little click from the hammer and spring. It's brief and low enough that your neighbors won't ever catch it, though you might feel it's louder than it really is just because it's right next to you. But honestly, the real noise control comes from the shrouded barrel, so the mechanical sounds rarely carry past your fence, and that's the whole point of the AT P2 QE. And keep in mind that with these guns, the pellet impact is usually louder than the shot, so use a safe backstop and something soft to catch the pellet, like a piece of carpet or a rubber pad, so the sound dies on impact. And also, if there is other noise around, like traffic or construction or railroad, take your shots then so they get lost in it. And let us know what you run in the backyard, what's your favorite rig, and how you keep it neighbor friendly. I hope this review was helpful. Thanks for watching, shoot safe, and I'll catch you in the next video.